Once again, a very good morning to you from Nasrec Expo Centre as we enter into the last day of the elective conference of the ANC. It's been a very long 5 days, I have to tell you, starting on the 16th of December, expected to end today. But there's still a lot of work that needs to be done by the ANC to wrap up this conference. Just to bring you into the picture, the voting is underway for the NEC right now by the delegates, and they obviously on the other side doing it by province, and we're not too sure how far they are right now. But what I can tell you is that there is going to be an update in the PBF Business Forum that has been held every single morning, and they've had a different speaker. But this morning, the speaker is going to be Jeff Hadebe, so we'll be waiting for all of that. There's also been different commissions that have been happening. Those have been closed sessions. So we're hoping and imagining that policy discussions of the ANC have been happening in these commissions and these closed sessions, because that's a very important part of this gathering, and policy is what drives the ANC, and without those policies this conference would really not be a success. So let's just get a little bit more information from my guest now who's joining us to talk all about this. Ongama Mtimka, it's always nice to see you. Thank you very, very much for being with us on the program. This has been a very interesting conference, to say the least, but I want to sort of take a look at yesterday, for instance. We started off the steering committee meeting over these 68 votes that disappeared, and we talk about these 68 votes that weren't added, and the only position really that's under dispute right now is the Secretary General, Ace Magashule and Senzo Mchunu. What do you think is going to happen there?
That vote issue, that resolution of the 68 votes is very important, because it's going to tilt the balance of forces at the top six. It will break an impasse, a stalemate, because currently you have 3-3 from each of the slates, and the Ramaphosa faction really want to make sure that they have got Senzo Mchunu there. In that way, you don't have a stalemate. In terms of what it seems like, in terms of reports that are coming up, that legal court routes are being explored, but there's also a factional approach to this. One, for the Ramaphosa faction want it resolved, want those votes to be counted. It seems like the other faction led by Supra Mahumapelo are challenging the acceptance of those votes, because I guess they fear that once they get accepted, it might change the outcome.
Yeah, because I mean, from what's been spoken about, what we understand is that these votes belong to delegates who were not on the voters' roll, but who were legitimate enough to actually take part in the vote. So there's a big discrepancy happening there. Do you think this is going to land up in the courts? Because it seems that an amicable solution being met here under the Secretary General, because I mean, if I'm not mistaken, the steering committee falls under the SG, and who is Ace Magashule, who has to make a decision on the votes that got him into power. Now, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's going to be a difficult one.
It's really difficult, and I think what makes it difficult is not matters of what was procedurally correct or what should have been done administratively, because if that was the case, it should be easy to resolve. Because I mean, you can understand the Electoral Commission; they may have had this situation and thought the best thing to do is to allow people to vote and then have a political direction in terms of how to treat them. But the politics of it is what may end up landing us to in court, and it may be better there, because then it gets into a legalistic outcome gets provided as opposed to a political one.
Yeah, let's also have a look at where we're at with policy discussions. Obviously, these happen in closed sessions, and there's been a lot of talk and worry that are we running so behind on this conference? Who knows? What's been happening behind the scenes, and the policy discussions are vital. So, do we understand that these policy discussions happen in closed sessions on the sidelines of everything else that's happening?
Yeah, so Leanne, there's a wide range of, I think, about 7 or 8 commissions that are looking at key themes in terms of the ANC wants to position itself at a level where it can lead government. It can lead its cadres who are going to be deployed in government. What I think it's going to be fiery commissions. It's the one on education, health, science and technology, as well as economic transformation. Those, those formed a key aspect of the politicking, campaigning and decampaigning leading to the conference. On the economic transformation one, that's where the debate about radical socio-economic transformation, the scope, the width and the depth of it is going to be finalized. And the education one, the president dropped a bombshell, welcome in the wider public domain, but needing the details to be trashed out. So I hope, I think those commissions for me are what one is looking at and excited about. The communications one, I think, will have a more of the old. The ANC talks about the battle of hearts and minds and how in Polokwane, for example, and in Mangaung, they wanted to get into the media space because they see the environment as hostile. I mean, we saw the president's speech when in the opening speech, his political report, he didn't say much. He wasn't really excited about the media. But more of the same might be there, saying support community media, independent media.
Yeah. All right. Ongama, I know you're going to be with us for a while, so we're going to be talking a lot, particularly about this economic transformation and which side our new president of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa, fits into. Is he very right? Is he very left of economic transformation? And what does that mean for all of us? So we'll talk as much as we can here about what to expect today and looking at some of the things that have already come out of this conference. But right now it's time to go back to the Johannesburg